Hello. This is Tando from Cosmic Spark, and I'm back again with another video. This is going to be a quick collective reading of our spirit, what the topic is going to be. We're going to go straight into it. No faffing about, okay? All right. So, apparently, some people in the collective are feeling a lot of overwhelm, a lot of burden, a lot of anxiety. So, I thought I would tap into that today and see what we can get, why that is happening, and let's just see how far we go with this reading. I've only pulled out the first 4 cards, and then as I start to interpret, I'll pull out more cards and we'll just go from there. Oopsie. It's not a reading with me unless something falls on the ground and then I have to pick it up. It's just the best thing ever. Okay. So, collective, you are coming across as the the world card. You're coming through as someone who has conquered something or is leaving something behind. You're coming through as someone who has done a lot of hard work to get to where they need to go, or to align themselves with the path that they now need to take. I do feel that there's some sort of diverging going on. So you were on one path, now you're on another, but this ending, this world card is talking about you having set up all your ducks in a row so that you could do the quick little pivot into the other lane without much hassle. But then there's this element of you being worried about imposter syndrome, you being worried that this new path that you really, really wanted to go on, that this path that you wanted to go on, you're worried that you're not going to come across the way that in your head you've envisioned that you'll come across. So it's like, okay, if you're wanting to be a content creator, for example, and so you did all the things, you got your channel ready, your logo ready, you just start putting out videos. Say you've put in your first 2 or 3 videos, and then now you're panicking and you're like, oh my God, can people tell that I'm faking it? This is unnatural to me because I don't do it all the time, but I've dreamt of this moment so many times, or I've practiced so many times, or I had dreams and fantasy, whatever it is, where I envisioned myself doing this. But now that I'm doing this, I'm so worried about how I'm being perceived. So that's some of you that are going through that. Others of you are learning, you're growing, there is a work element here. So I think that overwhelm could be maybe some of you are juggling a couple of jobs. It could be something that you've recently taken on, because there is an energy here of an ending and a new beginning. So you could have been working in one job, but then you knew you wanted to, say you're a graphic designer, but you've always wanted to write a book. And so your day job, you're doing your graphic design. And then once you clock out, you're now working on this novel. And so you're kind of feeling the overwhelm of you prioritizing your goals, your wants, your needs. So it's a good thing, but it doesn't mean that it's not an awkward transition. It's perfectly fine if during transition you're feeling a little like it's a little bit heavy. It happens to the best of us. And let this reading be confirmation to you that I see you. You're working so hard. Follow your instincts. The fact that you started this new thing is for a reason, even if it's a lesson, even if it's something long term. Sometimes how we go into something isn't like the expectations we go into something with. We don't get what we've imagined we'll get. Sometimes we just get a lesson, but other times we get something bigger and grander than we could have ever envisioned for ourselves because we were thinking small. I think a lot of us, especially, I feel like if you identify, it's such a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean. If you identify as someone who's like, okay, I am a good person, morally, I could justify my own behavior, and I know I don't need anyone else's approval. I know I'm a good person. I feel like people like that, because I definitely identify as that. I think people that are like that are the ones that are so concerned about coming across as fake when they are being authentic. And it's because there is actually so much fakery in this world, and sometimes you are worried that people are going to fall for the tricks of the person performing authenticity as opposed to you being authentic. Perfectly valid, by the way. So yeah, if you're watching this and that resonates with you, I see you. Keep doing you. I don't think you get impulses for no reason. If you get an impulse to study something, an impulse to look into something, an impulse to wear a certain color on a certain day, to me, all of those things are just you being at one with the universe and following. Imagine, imagine you get lost in the woods, or your Hansel and Gretel. Didn't they leave like breadcrumbs or something like that to try and find their way? I kind of feel like when you get certain impulses in life to follow a train of thought, it's like you're following the breadcrumbs that are being left. Who knows by who? The higher power, your future self, your own, subconscious that you're not yet talking to clearly, so it has to leave you little clues to try and match up. Whatever it is, follow your instincts, follow your passions, be true to yourself. You can try new things and let it be awkward, but just give it a little bit longer and it's not awkward. And now you've built a new routine. And now not doing that would be awkward. And so, yeah, I feel like someone needed to hear that. Yes, now that I get to the other end of the reading, this truly just clarifies that this burden and overwhelm really has a lot to do with work. Let's see if we can build up on this story. Nay. Okay. Okay, I see that some of you have likely left an old place of employment. You might have handed in your resignation, or you might have actually fully left the place. Whichever it is that you identify with, I can see here that on the other end of it, whether you're feeling it now or give it a few weeks, I do feel that largely a lot of you, as soon as you did the hard thing and you just said, I can't do this, I'm stepping away from this role, you immediately felt a lightness overcome you. And you feel this comfortability that the Nine of Pentacles feel. You feel comfortable, you know where you're going, like you're not stressing, you know your next steps, you're comfortable, you didn't do this without thinking. And so that's a lot of you. But it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. I know a lot of us really struggle with change. And it's totally understandable. This could be something that the world card is, at least in this deck, it says 21. So the 21st card, right? The journey from the Fool to the world is a pretty deep and long journey. And so if you were in this job for whatever feels long to you, because for some of us, I am a Gen Y, like the last year of Gen Y, basically a zillennial. And then obviously millennials as well, have a very different idea of maybe what a long time looks like in a job, just because the attitudes towards work have changed over the decades. And so I feel that whether it's been 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20, you've left something that provided you stability for a long time. It became, for that short period of time, part of your identity. And so there's a loss there. There is there's some unpacking that will need to be done, even if more than not, like largely, you're feeling really, really good. There will be some unpacking that needs to be done, just so you can walk away feeling like, you know what? It is what it is. I did the right thing for me. This is what I'm going to keep in my identity from this era. And this is what I'm going to let go. Maybe have, this is a bit dramatic, but you could even have a little funeral for your old self. Nothing crazy. Just get a tea light candle going, get some music going, journal, cry it out, write what you're letting go on a piece of paper, burn it, and then leave it there, leave it behind, because you know that what's coming you already know that you're in a good place, really. And you know that what's coming to you is what's owed to you. It's what you deserve. It's what you've worked hard for. And it's what your instinct tells you. Most importantly, it's what your instinct tells you is the next step. So how can that be wrong? Okay. And then it's okay if you have a little inner conflict. What is not okay is to ignore the inner conflict and pretend that it isn't happening. What is not okay is letting a couple of doubts veer you from your path, a path that you know that you truly want. What you can do once you're feeling those doubts is ramp up your self-care. If it's on a particular night, a particular day, that's the day that you're going to gratitude journal. That's the day that you're going to watch a cute little comfort movie, maybe your favorite childhood TV show, maybe your favorite childhood sitcom or whatever. Curl up maybe with a plushie, with a wine, with a lover, and just nurse yourself. And it's okay that you don't feel okay every day. Just like it's okay that like sometimes you're depressed, sometimes you're not, sometimes you want to go to work, sometimes you don't. Where the problem lies is within you carrying this on into the next day, on and on, because you'll be self-sabotaging if you know that these are your heart's desires. If you're letting things that haven't even happened, so people's potential criticisms, their potential thoughts and feelings about your actions, if you're going to let that get to you, then you're never going to achieve anything. It's not just this thing, it's the next thing and the next thing. What's going to stop you from listening to other people and just doing what it is that you need to do? That's something that you need to think about. All right, let's get some more. What else can you tell the collective about the burdens, the overwhelm, the anxiety? Let me know if you're watching this, if you prefer when I tell you what all the cards are, because I don't know if you're actually utilizing this to learn tarot and how I interpret the cards. I typically show you, but in this one I'm just kind of trying more focusing on the actual message, and then if I feel it's relevant, I'll pull it up, especially because part of this deck is very explicit anyway. Okay, 3 of Fire. Okay. I feel that you haven't been very trustful of people of late. You've been struggling to collaborate with people. You've been struggling to get on the same page. You might want to approach a project in a particular way, and you're getting resistance from the people around you that maybe are a little bit more selfish and self-focused, whereas you're thinking about the collective experience and the group dynamic. And so you're kind of coming across at the moment as being a little hard to deal with because you're actually just in self-protection mode. You realize that there's a lot of things in the environment that haven't been aligning with you, and you're trying to really understand, articulate, express what you're seeing and take appropriate action, but it might not be in the time frame that suits other people, which, who are they? So these are the last cards I'll pull from this deck, and then I'm going to end it with an oracle. What you're moving towards, you are moving towards more commitment to yourself and your practical goals. So whatever money-making goals you have for this year, I see you working more towards that. I see you moving out of this working too hard energy. Right now, it's working too hard, but not like a work play kind of work hard, play hard. It's really looking more like work, but it's like I just have to work just to get through this bit and then I can relax. Some of you might already be relaxing. Whatever end of this story you're in, you just place yourself wherever you need to because this is a general reading. But in the near future, you're coming out of this energy of overworking and feeling like you have to straddle things and instead aligning everything that you're working on. What's the word? Not conglomerate. There's a word that is failing me at the present moment. Consolidate. Yeah, consolidating all of like your life, your interests into something a little bit more streamlined, and then being and feeling committed to that path and feeling like that path is well lit instead of just a few crumbs here and there. It is well lit on both sides, so it's pretty clear where you're going. Anyone can see it on the other end of this journey, maybe not in the middle, but anyone can see that you've come to a place of understanding as to where you're going, not just your next step, but probably your next 5 to 10 steps as well. Yeah, you're leaving behind something that you've worked on for a long time with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and you are moving to calmer waters where you're working on something new. But it might not be new in that sense. It might just be a very old interest or an old hobby or a side hustle that you've been working on that you're now taking seriously for the first time ever. So that could also be you as well. I'm going to ask the oracles what words of wisdom, advice they have on the way out from this reading. What is the advice or wisdom for my collective as we close out this reading? Please, Spirit, thank you. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. I think that is perfect. And let me see what's at the bottom. Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? So as I said before at the beginning of the reading, you are currently evaluating your surrounds and trying to understand the lay of the land because you're realizing there's a few things that aren't matching, a few plugs aren't fitting in certain holes. And so really sit down, journal, introspect, meditate, and understand who or what is triggering you so that you can make a decision on what you do with that information moving forward. Is this person staying in your life or aren't they staying in your life? Are you just having to put boundaries that you've never placed before? Any of that sort of stuff. And of course, deep transformation. You're telling me you left a job or you left something that was really important that you worked on for a long time, and now you're starting something new, something crazy, something that you're going to be married to almost? How could that? Like, that's amazing. That's important. That's amazing. That's deep transformation right there. That's deep transformational energy. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. If you like my readings, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, etc. You can find me at cosmicspark.blog. Email me at info@cosmicspark. Please feel free to check out. I always have this in the comment description box, but just in case you don't read it, please consider watching my bestie's channel, Soliloquy of the Psyche. She is my best friend and she is a fantastic spiritualist, so you can learn a lot from her. We've also started a podcast called Chronic Chaotic, so at Chronic Chaotic on YouTube. You should be able to find the first episode out and the second one will be up pretty shortly. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.